Hello and welcome to Kano Spotlight. I am Ibrahim Isa. On this week's episode, Kano State Deputy Governor has visited some flood-affected areas shortly after the government announced the release of 100 million to the victims. Also, we'll bring you our chat with the Deputy Governor on the achievements of Governor Abdullahi Ganduje in the areas of agriculture. These are many more awards we have for you on this week's episode. We'll go on a short break now and return in just a moment. We'll be right back. Victims of flooding in some affected local government areas of Kano State have been supported with the sum of 100 million naira courtesy of Governor Abdullahi Ganduje. Kano State Deputy Governor visited some of the affected local government areas to ascertain the level of damage caused by heavy rains. When the news of the damage by floods in some local government areas spread, Kano State government called an interministerial press conference to address the issue. The State Commissioner for Information, Muhammad Garba, announced the immediate release of 100 million naira by the government for victims of the disaster.
The governor directed that I should address you and make a pronouncement that the state government has announced a direct financial assistance of 100 million naira to the victims of flood disaster in the state, as well as to call on the federal government special intervention to further alleviate the sufferings of the affected community. Even though Kano State was not among the 12 states the National Emergency Management Agency predicted to have intense flooding, the disaster wreaked havoc on many communities in 8 local government areas of the state.
Moments after Muhammad Garba's conference, Deputy Governor Nasir Gauna, alongside many other government functionaries, visited some of the worst hit areas. Warawa local government is one of them. Affected residents in the area gathered to listen keenly to the message brought to them by the dignitaries. The Deputy Governor commiserated with them and assured them of the government's commitment to making their lives better.
My first message is that of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, who sent us here for an on-ground assessment of this natural disaster that befall the people of this area of part of Warawa local government. His Excellency commiserate with the people of Warawa local government entirely and the people of Kano State and all areas that are affected with this natural disaster of flood. And he has asked me to say the complete commitment of his government in trying to bring about solutions for the occurrence of similar events or similar disasters.
Some of the victims trudged through the flood to receive the delegation and showcase to them the damage done to them by heavy rains. In another development, the next day, the Deputy Governor received a delegation of academics and beneficiaries of the France-Nigeria Joint Scholarship. They were in his office to receive their travel documents and bid the Deputy Governor farewell as they set to France to study various master's programs, courtesy of Abdullahi Ganduje and the French government.
I want to sincerely thank all of us here. I want to wish the students well, and I hope you return successfully with flying colors, and I wish you a safe destination.
The deputy governor also received a delegation of Igbos in northern Nigeria who came to congratulate him on his new position. Kano is the commercial and investment hub of northern Nigeria and the largest non-oil and gas economy in Nigeria. The agricultural sector in Kano State contributes more than 70% of its gross domestic product, with up to 70% of its population directly or indirectly engaged in some form of agricultural activities, including crop, livestock, and fishery production. Kano is presently the most irrigated state in Nigeria, with more than 20 dams, providing about 2 million cubic meters of water to support agricultural and industrial activities. To know more about these activities of the Kano State government and the opportunities that abound in agriculture, Kano Spotlight visited the State Deputy Governor, Nasir Gauna, who also doubles as the State Commissioner for Agriculture. Kano has agri as one of its mainstay, a mainstay of its economy. Would like to know what are the activities Kano State government is doing when it comes to agriculture.
There are a lot of activities that the Kano State government, under the leadership of His Excellency Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has indulged into since inception. That's from 2015 till date. And these are part of, I think, the calling of His Excellency Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari. And if I can recollect, the first launching of the Ankoboroa program in Kebbi State was the one that followed after Mr. President Hasabun Zoom office. And then Kano State was the one that followed suit, where we launched our wheat planting campaign in 2015, where the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Chief Audu Obe, was in attendance, and the major stakeholders in terms of wheat production in the country, particularly the Lake Chad Research Institute, Institute of Agricultural Research in Zaria, IITA, ICRISAT, to mention a few, Sasakawa, were all in attendance. And His Excellency Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje gave the opening and made sure that the process went smoothly. From then, His Excellency, what he first did was to make sure that we tackled the issue of middlemen. This is a problem that you cannot touch. It's a problem that is bedeviling the farmers and their relationship with the government. There are people that are not into farming activities, but normally they come into government and make sure that they are the ones that will correspond between the farmers and the government. In so doing, you find out a lot of things will go wrong. So what His Excellency did was first for us to call all the farmers, bring them together and let them know that they should deal directly with the government. From there, an open door policy using my office as the Commissioner for Agriculture and all our relevant agencies, particularly the development agency, that is NADA, that deals directly with the farmers. We made sure that they deal directly with that, and then we made sure that they have the expertise in people that are going to run the affairs of the leadership of the Farmers Association, which we gave them the upper hand. They did that, and they grouped themselves into commodity associations. From there, they formed the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, the Kano chapter. And from then, They are streamlined, and government always bring about whatever programs we have with them, and then they will now relate it to the farmers. His Excellency always have a program that we call the Farmer Government Consultation Forum every year, that we sit down with the farmers and government, we lay down the problems, and the farmers can approach the governor directly, tell him their problems, and then we list them and see how we can be able to solve them.
Okay, we will talk about the government-farmer relationship later.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting if we know the agricultural produce that Kano State is known for.
The agricultural produce that Kano is known for majorly and wheat, rice, maize, sorghum, and tomato. These are the major produce that we have in Kano. Other produce too, we do soybeans, we do the normal beans, and others in terms of vegetables and some few fruits, particularly the mango. But these are the major ones that Kano State produce. And in this, Kano State have excelled from this 2015 to date. For example, in terms of rice production, in 2015, Kano produced 690,000 tons. But in 2016, we produced over 1.5 million tons. That is a significant improvement, over 100%. And so 2017 and hopefully 2018. And it's the same thing with wheat.
It is now obvious that wheat production is in large scale in Kano State.
Yes.
Let's talk about rice production, and let's also talk about what the Kano State government is doing to ensure sustainability
Yes.
of the production of this agric produce.
Yes, what the state is doing is Kano, we have an advantage in terms of irrigation. And you know rice, normally the irrigation aspect of rice even produce more than the wet season. So Kano has that advantage, and that is what His Excellency is doing. We are working hand in hand with the farmers to do that. Even as I'm talking to you now, this year the Anchor Grower program with the rice farmers, Kano is leading in terms of number of people that participated. Earlier on when it started, the rice millers as the off-takers or anchors couldn't guarantee the farmers. The state government did that. We guarantee the farmers, and the farmers benefited to it. And you know, always new programs, they have their problems, which one has to sit down, have to think about it, and then you fine-tune it and make it a more viable program. That was what happened. Some of the farmers refused to pay, but we have taken measures, and now they are paying back. This is part of the issue of sustainability the state government is looking at. First, to source the funds for the farmers to get the right inputs. That is from the planting to the harvesting. Kano State has done a lot. We have procured combined harvesters. This is we have done it to at least solve the problem of post-harvest loss, which farmers always incur when it comes to harvesting. So Kano State has done that. We have streamlined the farmers where they can access funding. And at the moment, very soon, we are going to access a loan from the Islamic Development Bank, which we are going to expand our irrigation facilities. We're going to desilt some of our dams. We have the highest number of dams in the country. We are going to desilt some of these dams, and then we are going to put in new infrastructure to create more lands, because what is happening in Kano at the moment is there is no vacant farmland that is not being cultivated. This shows that people have accepted the issue of farming, and this shows that production is successful, and this shows that people are making money out of it. That is the commercial aspect, different from the subsistence farming that we indulged into before. So we are trying to expand so that Kano will have more vast lands where people can be able to access, because putting in infrastructure in terms of irrigation is something that government has to come in. Individuals, is very difficult for individuals to do that. So that is why the state is doing that. And from federal government, we have interventions from the projects like Fadama project. They have done so much, quite a number of thousands of meters of irrigation infrastructures in some of our local governments, particularly in Garko local government, where people are now having excellent cultivation.
Okay, it is also pivotal that we talk about food security.
Yes.
What is Kano State government doing to ensure food security in the state?
Yeah, what we are trying to do, or what we have been doing, is one, there is even the issue of the old marketing board that we used to have. But now we are going to do it in a more refined way. That there is the stock brokers or the stock exchange, Abuja Commodity Exchange, that we are talking with, and we want to find a way whereby the government will be able to collect the produce from the farmers, pay them what they have produced, and allow the price to stabilize so that the farmer will not lose. And then the people that come to buy the produce early enough will not take the produce and leave the farmer at the losing end. That is the venture capitalists. What they do is they come, they buy the produce in large quantity, they go and store it, because the farmer has no option, he has to sell it. But now we are trying to harmonize that and see how the government will be able to give you something, collect your produce, keep it for you, we bag it, and then keep it safe. And then by the time the price stabilizes, because there is the pricing committee, I think is chaired by His Excellency the Vice President. And my governor, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, and the governor of Kebbi State are part of that committee to do with the pricing of wheat, particularly, and I think rice. So that will bring about the required security we need on the produce, so that at any given time there is going to be food around, and it's not like it's going to be hoarded by somebody that will now put in higher prices when it comes to the time where there is low production in that. So the government, what we are trying to do is to be able to bridge that, and that will bring about that. And then other aspect is in the cost of production, because bringing down the cost of production will bring down the cost of sale, and that will bring about the accessibility and affordability of the people to be able to buy the food, and you will have food security because people can be able to afford it at all the time. So Kano State, we are looking at all the components and aspects that will bring about the reduction in cost of production. that is why the issue of access to funding, the issue of subsidizing inputs, the issue of mechanization, which we have just launched recently, and the issue of post-harvest loss, they are all part of it that will bring down the cost of production. Then the issue of fertilizer, which was a major one.
Which we are going to, you can't talk about agriculture without
talking about fertilizer.
So,
and I think that one has been solved.
Okay.
And the Kano model was the model that has been picked.
Mm-hmm.
And now the problem of fertilizer has been solved.
So do you boast of any fertilizer blending plants in Kano?
I do definitely. I am the one to boast about fertilizer blending company. We have a fertilizer blending company dated back, I think, over 25 years now. Before it was comatose, nothing, whatever management you put, whatever you do, it doesn't work. You don't see the profit, you don't see the activities. But coming in 2015 of His Excellency Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, he made sure that in part of his inaugural speech, he said he's going to revive KASCO. KASCO is the Kano State Agricultural Supply Company. And what it basically did is the supply of fertilizer and then inputs. So His Excellency said he will make sure that the fertilizer is affordable and also available and at all the time to the farmers. Because the issue of subsidy, His Excellency, when he said there is not going to be the issue of subsidy, in 2015 Kano State is not buying fertilizer to subsidize, I was scared. But when we sat down, he explained. He said, what we are going to do is we make sure that we revive KASCO. Call the management of KASCO, how much are you going to produce a bag of fertilizer? When they told him, he said, okay, for the management of the company and the little profit you are going to make, we'll sell the fertilizer at an affordable cost, but make sure the quality remained the same. And that was what was done. And the quality was testified even by the farmers. And now I stand to be corrected. Even the farmers are saying it, that they only want fertilizer from KASCO. Because instead of them to buy 2 bags outside, when they buy 1 bag from KASCO, they are satisfied. And what he did was to bring down the price to a level where everybody can be able to afford it. And then it became readily available in abundance. And you can get it all the time. And I think from 2015 to date, there was no time that we did a program that we call launching of fertilizer. Because fertilizer is every day. If you want to get it today, you get it. And at that affordable price of 5,500. All our stores have been renovated. Some that we lost to a program of the previous government, that is the tailoring centers, what have you, we build new ones. And we stock them. At every time fertilizers are available, when you go there, you find them. And that was why when Mr. President launched the task force committee on fertilizer in the country under the leadership of His Excellency, the Governor of Jigawa State, the chairman of that committee, the Governor of Jigawa, now gathered all the fertilizer blending companies in the country and asked them what model or how do they do, how much do they sell their fertilizers. And I think the list was 7,500. But KASCO came, and when KASCO came, we said we can sell ours at 5,500.
Finally, we'd like you to briefly tell us state agriculture intervention programs in local governments.
Well, we have done so many. I will just mention a few. The state intervention, when you talk about irrigation, we have distributed irrigation pumps worth over 250 million, 5,000 irrigation pumps free to the farmers. We have drilled what we call the smaller boreholes, that is tube wells. We have dug over 1,000 in 29 local governments of the state. We have distributed manual irrigation pumps to the farmers. We have distributed varieties of seeds. We have distributed varieties of pesticide, and recently His Excellency has approved the sum of 132 million that we are giving as a deposit to the program of tractorization, which is one of the major programs. Major problems also is mechanization. And this program, what we did is to make sure that the farmers own the program, they own it. What we do is we group them in cooperatives. Most of them are going to participate. If one can be able to deposit himself, it's okay. But there is NASAL and there is MECA, which is the Machine Equipment Consortium, which are going to give the guarantee to the farmers. But the tractors are going to be maintained by them because they are professionals. And then the balance of the payment will be spread over 2 years. So the 20% deposit was what His Excellency has paid now to the farmers, and they are going to benefit from this. This, to mention a little, we have, like I've said, we have bought the cleaning, sorting, and grading machine for the wheat farmers. We have bought the 2 combined harvesters for wheat and rice harvest, and many others.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner, for your time.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me in this program.
Thank you very much. I hope you had a swell time with the Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture in Kano State. We hope to bring you more exciting package next week on Kano Spotlight. I remain your regular host, Ibrahim Isa. Thank you for watching.